Chapter 946, Ice Crystal Giant Bear. Old Ying, your group is just too weak, or else 50-50 would have been fine too. The elder in purple didn't hide it anymore. He had two quasi-sacred lords and one emperor in his group. No matter how he looked at it, they were stronger than Old Ying's group. Old Ying. Jinkai instinctively looked toward Old Ying and felt that the situation wasn't looking good. Old Ying had a calm expression and didn't say anything. He admitted that the strength of his group was relatively weak, but only in comparison to the groups of the top 5 princes. Old Ying believed that Zhao Feng should be able to handle at least one quasi-sacred lord. The only weakness in their group was Jinkai. If you guys perform well in the dangers ahead, we can split the treasures 50-50, the other quasi-sacred lord said. How could they leave this place so easily after obtaining all the wealth of the sacred lord? The 6th prince had no intention of becoming the crown prince, so he didn't care about draconic providence at all. Finding resources and wealth was their only mission in the imperial tombs. Therefore, they still needed to work together with Old Ying's group if they wanted the rest of the wealth. Zhao Feng carefully inspected the 3 in front of him. Their soul strength wasn't too low, and they had defensive soul treasures. However, after being in the Black Wind Canyon for such a long time, the desires in their hearts had been ignited. They hadn't realized it yet, but as time passed, their personalities would change even more. It seemed like this forbidden ground wasn't as simple as they thought, or else it wouldn't be able to affect the personality of a quasi-sacred lord without them even knowing. Zhao Feng looked at Jinkai. While the latter seemed scared and didn't know what to do, he could see the unwillingness, anger, and desire for the inheritance. Splitting it like that is too troublesome. Why don't we use our own skills, and whoever gets the treasure first keeps it? Zhao Feng stepped forward with a faint smile. What did you say? The purple-robed elder looked at Zhao Feng with surprise. That was exactly what he wanted, but he didn't say it in order to maintain a semblance of teamwork between the two groups. If they really used this method, Old Ying's group might not even be able to get 30%, let alone 50%. Hee, we can do it that way as well. The young emperor looked at Zhao Feng and laughed coldly. He was already getting impatient. Zhao Feng? Old Ying was dazed and didn't know what Zhao Feng meant by this. At least for the moment, he didn't want the two groups to break up. While the resources here were rare even for Old Ying, it wasn't as if there would be no chances in the future. He placed greater importance on draconic providence, and the 3 of them had already obtained half of the draconic providence here. This was why Old Ying was planning to give in to them. Zhao Feng, what did you say? Jinkai looked angrily at Zhao Feng with cold eyes. Instead of using their own skill and maybe getting 30%, it was better to just split it 50-50. Old Ying, your group member is the one who gave this suggestion. The purple-robed elder gave a wicked laugh, and both sides became silent. Who tilde? The 6 figures moved at once. Their target was the same, the interspatial ring within the crystalline ice coffin. While there were a lot of other items in the ice castle, it was obvious that whatever was contained in this interspatial ring was the most valuable. Purple light destroying the sky. The elder in purple robes blocked Old Ying and thrust out his palm. A purple-colored palm made of light filled the sky and crashed over. It was obvious that the purple-robed elder's group had already discussed what to do. The elder in purple robes would stall Old Ying. Meanwhile, the young emperor charged toward Jinkai. A long golden axe appeared in his hand, which he waved fiercely and unleashed red flashing light everywhere. Jinkai showed no signs of weakness against an emperor. Countless beams of golden light spun around his body as he clashed against the young emperor. Jinkai's display was extremely courageous and fierce. Hee, Old Ying, since your group member wants to split it this way, then we'll follow through with it. The purple-robed elder thrust out another purple destruction palm. Lei Tong, don't injure the 9th prince's beast tamer. Just take the interspatial ring. The elder in purple robes pretended to be nice, but he had an evil smile. Don't worry. The other quasi-sacred lord was full of smiles. It would be extremely easy to deal with the king. He knew that Zhao Feng had the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly, but he was ready for it. Even if the cloud silkworm Saint Butterfly's pollen hit him, he was confident that he could suppress Zhao Feng. Lightning restriction. Lei Tong waved his palms, and a chain of lightning shot toward Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng retreated several steps and waved his left hand. A large white figure instantly appeared before Zhao Feng and charged at Lei Tong with its fierce beast aura. This was a rare beast that he had met while he was taming various beast packs, and he used a lot of effort to tame it. This is a rare beast from the ancient dimension? Lei Tong's expression changed slightly as he looked at the white bear covered in crystalline icy hair. The strength of rare beasts already exceeded those at the same cultivation, and this ice crystal giant bear wasn't suppressed by the laws of the dimension either. How is this possible? How can that brat tame an emperor-level rare beast? The expression of the elder in purple robes was grim. They originally thought that Zhao Feng was going to rely on the cloud silkworm saint butterfly that he got from Duke Nanfeng. They thought that his actual beast-taming abilities were extremely average. Furthermore, even if he was good, how could a king-level beast-tamer tame an emperor-level rare beast? Even some emperor-level grandmaster beast-tamers needed an entire group to help them for such a thing, and even then, it wasn't guaranteed. An emperor-level ice crystal giant bear. Old Ying couldn't help but exclaim. In reality, he was also suspicious of Zhao Feng's beast-taming abilities, but Zhao Feng was able to surprise him every time. Zhao Feng managed to tame several strong rare beasts while he was conquering inheritances. This meant that it wasn't a loss for him to use the array in the Dragon Jade. On top of that, Zhao Feng still had the substandard God Misty spatial world. Roar tilde. The ice crystal giant bear roared as its white claws shot toward Lei Tong like lightning. The chilly gust radiating from it even froze the air. The lightning restriction used by Lei Tong was blocked by the ice crystal giant bear and had zero effect. Whoosh! Lei Tong turned to the side and dodged the ice crystal giant bear's attack. Spear of lightning. Lei Tong wouldn't go easy on an emperor-level ice crystal giant bear. Light sparkled around Lei Tong as a surge of lightning condensed into the shape of a spear. Hu tilde. Lei Tong gripped the spear of lightning, causing his momentum to rise. Lightning sparkled as he clashed against ice crystal giant bear. What power! Lei Tong's hands went numb as he retreated back a couple steps. His lightning elemental attacks weren't very useful against the thick-skinned ice crystal giant bear, and he was even countered somewhat. At this moment, Zhao Feng was walking toward the crystalline ice coffin. Junior, don't even think about it. Lei Tong was enraged and threw his spear of lightning at the crystalline ice coffin. He then leapt at Zhao Feng with overwhelming speed. The ice crystal giant bear countered him to a certain degree, so Lei Tong changed his tactics and used his advantage of speed. He decided not to fight against the ice crystal giant bear. He would first suppress Zhao Feng and take away the interspatial ring. Speed was the ice crystal giant bear's weakness. Whoosh! The spear of lightning stabbed into the ice coffin, less than an inch away from the interspatial ring. Boom! The crystalline ice coffin was already damaged, and it immediately exploded when it was further damaged. Junior, I'll get rid of you first. Fierceness flashed across Lei Tong's eyes as he leapt toward the quickly retreating Zhao Feng. I've already got the interspatial ring though. Shouldn't we stop now? Lei Tong was stunned. Under his blow just now, his spear of lightning landed right next to the interspatial ring and caused the ice coffin to explode. Zhao Feng wasn't even near the interspatial ring yet. Meow. At this moment, with a flash of silver, a little cat appeared on Zhao Feng's shoulder. It raised its head and chest, as if saying that it was the one who took the ring. A spiritual pet with a talent in space laws. Lei Tong's eyes froze. He clenched his fists and looked unwillingly at Zhao Feng. At this point, the purple-robed elder and the other emperor saw the result of Lei Tong and Zhao Feng's fight. Their expressions started to flicker, and they still couldn't accept this. Stop. There should be plenty of other treasures here. Old Ying saw the struggle in their expressions and spoke. Fine. Old Ying, you won this time. The purple-robed elder gave a deep glance toward Zhao Feng. Lei Tong and the other young emperor stopped attacking and started to scour some of the leftover resources from within the ice castle. This Zhao Feng is extremely troublesome, and his spiritual pets are very unique, Lei Tong explained to the other two. He felt humiliated and angry losing to a king. Hee, there's no need to worry. Right now, we still need help from Old Ying's group, but when the time's ripe, we will take it all back. The elder in purple robes implied a lot with his words. That's right. We'll just leave it with them for now. The young emperor was extremely excited. Jing Kai was overjoyed at what happened and ran over impatiently. He didn't expect Zhao Feng's spiritual pets to be so strong or that he would actually obtain the interspatial ring without anyone knowing. What's in the interspatial ring? Zhao Feng put his divine sense into the interspatial dimension and was slightly puzzled. It's just the wealth of an early-stage sacred lord. An early-stage Sacred Lord's wealth isn't bad, especially since this is still just the boundary of the Black Wind Canyon. Jing Kai was looking forward to what awaited them. Old Ying's group then split the items within the interspatial ring. Zhao Feng alone took 40% of it. Old Ying, the journey in the Black Wind Canyon has just begun. The elder in purple robes was expressionless, as if he had already forgotten what just happened. The two groups saw another group enter the Black Wind Canyon forbidden ground the instant they exited the inheritance. That's a group from the second prince's team? The purple-robed elder's eyebrows furrowed. The second prince wasn't that ambitious, but the forces supporting him were extremely complex, so his team was ranked 5th among the other princes. This group had 3 quasi-sacred lords and 1 emperor, but the strength of each member was most likely stronger than both of their groups. The combined force of their 2 groups might not be at an advantage against this one group belonging to the second prince. We should take action quickly. The wind of darkness around the Black Wind Canyon fluctuates in power. We don't know when it'll return to normal. Lei Tong's eyes were impatient, and everyone sped up their pace. There would be more and more groups coming here as time passed, so they couldn't afford to waste any time. Chapter 947, Stunning Treasure Glow. Within the Great Gan Imperial Palace, the ancient and weird stone tablet floated in the sky, and there was a unique energy undulation as it connected with the 10 white screens around it. Within the center of each screen was a prince. The experts around the Great Hall and in the clouds could only see the image around the princes. The clarity of any images away from them were blurry. At this moment, almost everyone's attention was gathered on the second prince's screen. The second prince also came to the Black Wind Canyon forbidden ground. Unfortunately, the second prince didn't go in himself. Why would a prince take such a risk? If they met danger and had to use the pseudo-crown prince seal to ask for help, that would be the end of the trial for them. The experts in the clouds discussed with one another. Entering any forbidden ground in the crown prince trial was extremely rare, so it attracted a lot of attention. Everyone wanted to know if there were still any ancient treasures within the ancient dimension. The Black Wind Canyon forbidden ground is one of the more dangerous forbidden grounds in the imperial tombs. Luckily, Jinner is far away from that place. The powerful male understood the 13th prince's personality very well. If the 13th prince was there and realized that the place wasn't quite as forbidden anymore, he would definitely enter. The halls with the tensest atmosphere were obviously the 9th prince's and 2nd prince's halls. Will Zhao Feng be okay entering the forbidden ground? An elder from a 2-star power was puzzled. While he didn't exactly think well of Zhao Feng, he was still part of the team, and he had already used the array in his Dragon Jade. If he died, the 9th prince would lose a team member. There shouldn't be any problem since Old Ying is leading the group. Although Duke Ninfeng said this, he didn't feel certain. Back in the day, he also participated in the Crown Prince trial, and he knew how terrifying the forbidden grounds were. Apparently, even back then, the wind of darkness in the Black Wind Canyon forbidden ground showed signs of becoming weaker. Within the Black Wind Canyon forbidden grounds. Another inheritance. Lei Tong was stunned. On a wall ahead of them was an ancient stone door. There was a layer of water over it that gave off a multicolored light. Most sacred lords left their inheritance behind in a natural environment and awaited those that were destined to open it. The reason why there were so many entrances outside of the Black Wind Canyon forbidden ground was because these inheritances had already been discovered, but no one had conquered them yet. Their entrances were exposed, but the contents were still available. Almost no one knew anything about the Black Wind Canyon forbidden ground. Only the sacred lords that were about to die would risk coming here to set up their inheritance. In terms of fairness, the entrances probably should have been re-hidden or something, but no one cared anymore. It's not as if finding an entrance would guarantee success. Fortune is indeed everywhere. Jing Kai couldn't contain his excitement and instantly leapt into the air. The members of the purple-robed elders group looked at one another and entered the stone door before Jing Kai. Old Ying and Zhao Feng quickly followed behind them. At this instant, heaven and earth changed. Everyone arrived on a desolate island surrounded by black tornadoes. There were countless whirlpools in the water around the island, as if this was a place of despair. This is definitely the inheritance left behind by a late-stage mystic light realm sacred lord. The elder in purple robes spread his senses and was extremely excited. This little world inheritance had been damaged as well. There were countless cracks in the little world, and gusts of black wind flowed everywhere, but this place was still able to function despite its heavy damage. From this, one could see how unusual it was. But why are there black Windian ghosts in this inheritance? The young emperor looked ahead. There were countless human-shaped skeletons on the island, with no signs of anyone alive. Countless black Windian ghosts walked eerily around the island. At the very center of the desolate island was a wooden tower. There was a glow of treasures coming from it, and it was so bright that the entire wooden tower lit up with a golden color. A sacred lord most likely set up their inheritance here, but when the source of energy supporting the little world ran out, the wind of darkness finally eroded this place and ultimately killed any human-like beings, turning their souls into black Windian ghosts. The elder in purple robes was excited. From the looks of it, the test of this inheritance was to kill the black Windian ghosts. This was the inheritance of a late-stage sacred lord, and the test was actually so simple. Old Ying, which members of your team specialize in soul attacks? The purple-robed elder asked with a smile. This was the time to team up. Just me, Old Ying replied without hesitation. That's no good. Lei Tong and I, two quasi-sacred lords, can both use soul attacks. This means that your group is contributing less manpower. The purple-robed elder shook his head and gave Zhao Feng a glance before continuing to speak. Although Zhao Feng is only a late-stage king, he was able to tame a rare beast like that giant bear. His soul intent definitely isn't weak, and he must have learned some sort of offensive soul secret technique. The purple-robed elder gave a faint smile and inspected Zhao Feng after saying this. On the other hand, Zhao Feng looked at the wooden tower and acted like he didn't hear anything. The elder in purple robes felt slightly awkward. He couldn't see through this junior at all. He only specializes in illusions and doesn't know any offensive skills, Old Ying replied for Zhao Feng. He could feel that this group was hiding their ill intentions, so he felt like he should hide Zhao Feng's true strength and make them think he was weak. How about Zhao Feng takes out some spiritual pets to use them as cover for us? If he does that, we can split the resources 50-50 in the end. Or we can do it depending on our skill again. What do you say to that? The elder in purple robes wasn't willing to give up. While Zhao Feng only had the cultivation of a late-stage king, the elder in purple robes could feel that this youth wasn't simple, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to obtain so much in the divine illusion dimension. When it came to Zhao Feng, many things that shouldn't have happened had happened anyway, so the elder in purple robes wanted to probe Zhao Feng's hidden cards. That's true. I don't want to obtain anything without putting in any effort. Zhao Feng put his consciousness into the misty spatial world and picked out more than a dozen black-striped venomous scorpions at the late-stage king level. The stingers of the black-striped scorpions were venomous and had the ability to erode souls. To a certain extent, it could be considered a soul attack. Great. Old Ying, your beast tamer is indeed not simple. These black-striped venomous scorpions are also beasts from the imperial tombs, right? The eyes of the elder in purple robes sharpened as he looked at the black-striped venomous scorpions on the ground, and he felt smug. Another one of Zhao Feng's hidden cards had been revealed. Zhao Feng gave a glance toward the elder in purple robes but didn't say anything. Let's start. Since Lei Tong lost to Zhao Feng in the last inheritance, he was getting impatient to release his anger. Let's go, Old Ying. The elder in purple robes shot out, and he released a surge of soul power. The elder in purple robes thrust out his palm, and a surge of purple light that could damage the physical and soul dimensions shot out. Ultimately, he was a quasi-sacred lord that had attempted to break through to the mystic light realm before, so he knew a bit about merging his soul and true yuan together. At the same time, a large number of black Windian ghosts on the desolate island were attracted over. They turned into condensed black tornadoes and swept toward the group. Whoosh! Whoosh! Old Ying's figure started to move through the air. The hand hidden in his black robes pointed out, and several dark beams of light merged into the air and hit the critical points on the black Windian ghosts. Old Ying used an extremely profound soul technique that also contained the laws of space. A dark pearl of lightning appeared in Lei Tong's hand. All he needed to do was pour his soul power into it and the pearl of lightning would be able to release lightning elemental soul attacks. This was a support-type item that he had prepared specifically for the Crown Prince trial. Ahead of Zhao Feng were more than a dozen black-striped venomous scorpions that attracted the firepower of the Black Windian ghosts. Under their combined attacks, the number of Black Windian ghosts on the desolate island started to decrease. All the Black Windian ghosts were destroyed after 2 hours. The six instantly charged into the wooden tower that was giving off a thick glow of treasure. They would split it by whoever got there first. Old Ying, Jinkai, and the elder in purple robes entered through the front door while Zhao Feng, Lei Tong, and the young emperor flew toward the window on the second floor. A peak Earth-grade weapon. The young emperor paused for a moment. Everything within the wooden tower, such as the mirrors, paintings, and candles, gave off the aura of peak Earth-grade items. Heaven-grade weapon. Lei Tong's eyes locked onto a row of golden mobi, Chinese writing brush used to write calligraphy, next to a table, and he charged over. This was a set of peak Earth-grade items, and their combined force had reached the level of a heaven-grade item. Battle technique. The young emperor charged over to a stand next to the bed, and there was an ancient book lying on it. On the other hand, Zhao Feng flew toward the bed and found several dozen substandard god crystals and pill bottles underneath the pillow. Junior, are you thinking of taking all those substandard god crystals for yourself? Lei Tong leapt toward Zhao Feng after putting away the heaven-grade mobi, and lightning started to crackle on his hands. Zhao Feng's expression remained the same, and he simply put the pill bottles and substandard god crystals into the misty spatial world. Lei Tong revealed a faint smile as his palm flashed with lightning toward Zhao Feng. Humph. Zhao Feng snickered coldly as he circulated his fire of wind lightning and punched out. Boom. The exchange of fist and palm caused lightning and fire to explode. Zhao Feng remained unmoving while Lei Tong was sent crashing onto the wood floor. His right palm was scorched black and numb, and the blood within his body started to toss and turn. How is this possible? Lei Tong was shocked. Although he only used 60% of his full power just now, why was he the one at the disadvantage? The opponent was just a Void God Realm King. How could Zhao Feng be so strong? The elements of fire and lightning contained within his attack made Lei Tong's heart rate speed up. Lei Tong? You too. The young emperor put the book away and saw the scene of Lei Tong flying into the floor. He was just about to question them, but... Boom. Boom. The entire inheritance started to shake. The air above them started to shatter and extend downward. The ocean below started to rise. This desolate island was about to be swallowed by the water. Crack. Not good, this little world is about to crumble. The purple-robed elder's voice sounded from below. Zhao Feng, Jinkai, let's go. Zhao Feng's expression changed slightly. He took a few more items, then flew into the air. The six figures flew out from the cracks of the little world and returned to the Black Wind Canyon. They were all dazed the instant they came out, and their gazes all gathered onto one spot. A nine-colored glow of treasure came from the depths of the Black Wind Canyon. Its light was so strong that it broke past the black wind and lit up the sky. It was as if there was a peerless treasure in the depths of the Black Wind Canyon that had exceeded the mystic light realm, and it just woke up. Even the Black Wind Canyon was unable to hide its glow. What? What kind of treasure is over there? Jinkai swallowed his saliva and was unable to move his gaze away from the nine-colored glow. A group of four jumped out from a pathway hidden by some rubble on the other side of the Black Wind Canyon. Could it be that a substandard god weapon has appeared? An elder with a goatee from the second prince's group looked into the distance with shock and joy. Chapter 948, Center of the Forbidden Ground. 10,000 miles away from the Black Wind Canyon Forbidden Ground. Jiang Hao, it's all thanks to you that we were able to easily pass through this early-stage Sacred Lord's inheritance. Jiang Hao, I heard that you have a high chance of breaking through to the Mystic Light Realm. Why are you still suppressing your cultivation? Four figures jumped out from an inheritance. The leader was a handsome middle-aged male with white hair and sparkling eyes. I have to succeed at breaking through to the Mystic Light Realm in one go. Jiang Hao's tone was decisive. If one failed to break through to the Mystic Light Realm even once, the possibility of success in the future would lower. Every time one failed, one's life force and soul would become weaker, and those were basically impossible to replace. Therefore, anyone who broke through to the Mystic Light Realm in one try had much a better foundation and much better potential than someone who took several tries. Jiang Hao's ambition made the others who had already failed to break through to the Mystic Light Realm feel guilty and envious. What's that? Someone exclaimed, and everyone raised their heads. Hoo-ah! A glow of treasure that contained 9 colors lit up the sky. It was extremely bright, as if a peerless mountain of treasure was just revealed. The light made could move one's heart. Everyone instantly stopped speaking, and they were unable to turn away. This is The treasure glow of a divine item. A light flashed through an elder's eyes as he spoke with a trembling voice, but his tone was certain. I have never seen a treasure with such a glow. The eyes of another elder with white hair sparkled. Let's go over there. Zhang Hao paused for a moment as well before his heart started to speed up. How could he miss such a peerless treasure? The other three were overjoyed when they heard Zhang Hao's words, and they all sprinted toward the treasure glow. In a swamp in the depths of the imperial tombs, 4 figures passed through some trees. The leader was someone completely covered in black robes. 3 people followed behind him carefully. The entire group was silent. The black-robed figure suddenly stopped and looked into the distance. The expressions of the other 3 members became pale with fear, and they looked in the direction where the black-robed person was looking but saw nothing. The 3 people looked at one another with puzzlement. They didn't understand what the leading black-robed figure was looking at. Let's go. The black-robed person changed directions. Senior Black Robes, are we not going to the inheritance? A member couldn't help but ask. The black-robed person suddenly looked in a random direction and changed their destination right afterward without even discussing. The others were dissatisfied and slightly hesitant. They had to admit that they were unlucky to be put in the black-robed person's group. The black-robed person had a weird personality, and he was rather scary. Luckily, the black-robed person's strength was great, so their journey had been safe so far. Stop talking garbage, the black-robed person's hoarse voice sounded, and he even turned his head around. The aura of death started to spread. The 3 members' souls started to shake, and they immediately shut up. The Black Wind Canyon Forbidden Ground was filled with a 9-colored light. Old Ying and the purple-robed elders groups were covered by this 9-colored light, and they felt stunned by the enormous treasure glow coming from it. They felt like they were extremely small in comparison, like a beggar seeing the royal treasury. Rather than rushing over immediately, they were rooted to the ground in shock and confusion. Even an ancient god weapon can't display such a scene. Zhao Feng was shocked. The display of the tattered sword in Xie Yang Palace wasn't even 1/100th of this. What kind of item did the Black Wind Canyon Forbidden Ground contain? Even the normally calm Zhao Feng felt a strong desire to obtain it. Let's go. We can't lose our advantage. The other groups nearby will also be attracted to it. The purple-robed elder's eyes shone as he sped toward the depths of the Black Wind Canyon. He couldn't remain calm in the face of this stunning treasure. Let's go over as well. Lei Tong and the young emperor were unable to think properly, but they immediately charged over. Such a weapon isn't something we can control. Old Ying sighed and was feeling indecisive. Such an ancient treasure definitely wasn't something they could control. If this treasure appeared in the continent zone, it would cause a war between multiple lord dynasties, and perhaps even a civil war. Even if they couldn't get it though, Old Ying's gaze couldn't move away from it. He at least wanted to see what kind of treasure it was or else he wouldn't be able to relax. Old Ying, let's go. Such a treasure appearing is also our fortune. We can't just miss it like this. Jing Kai had an excited expression as he persuaded. Such a treasure could change anyone's destiny. Jing Kai was already getting impatient after seeing the purple-robed elders group go over. If Old Ying didn't agree, he obviously couldn't go. He was an unrivaled emperor in the outside world, but in here, he was just a normal team member. Quasi-sacred lords could be seen everywhere. Furthermore, this was the Black Wind Canyon Forbidden Ground. Such a treasure would definitely come with great danger, and he needed an experienced leader like Old Ying. Fine, we'll go over and have a look, Old Ying decided, and they started to head toward the depths of the Black Wind Canyon. Being one of the most dangerous forbidden grounds of the imperial tombs, even some of the stronger sacred lords wouldn't go too far into the Black Wind Canyon to set up their inheritance. If it wasn't because the Black Wind had suddenly weakened and then seeing a great treasure appear, Old Ying's group would never dare to enter its depths. The Black Wind became a bit stronger? Zhao Feng's sharp eyes caught sight of a change in the air. Although the treasure glow changed the color of the area nearby and made it hard to distinguish things apart, it didn't affect Zhao Feng's left eye much. Zhao Feng glanced at Old Ying and Jing Kai. The two of them hadn't sensed anything. It was obvious that the treasure glow had attracted everyone's attention and made them forget about everything else. Something's not right. Zhao Feng's expression changed slightly as the power of the god Tribulation lightning in his dark purple soul suddenly started to blink. Boom. 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 Thin wisps of dark aura were destroyed by the power of the god Tribulation lightning and forced out of his body, where they merged with the black wind. I was unknowingly affected as well. Zhao Feng was extremely surprised. One had to know that his soul had reached the level of a sacred lord, and it was actually even more condensed and refined than a normal sacred lord. Zhao Feng's eyes became a bit clearer after forcing the air of yin outside his body. Let me have a look. Zhao Feng circulated his left eye, and a golden light spread through his eye. In the past, when Zhao Feng used this ability, everything in sight became a world constructed of atoms and used up a lot of energy. It was a case of information overload. However, now that Zhao Feng's control was a lot better, he could choose what to see as atoms. Zhao Feng's eyes gazed at the treasure glow that was shooting up into the sky, then started to trace it downward through the rocks. The treasure should be underground. Eh? Zhao Feng seemed to find something weird, and his face went slightly red before turning back to normal. What is it, Zhao Feng? Old Ying saw that Zhao Feng was acting differently than usual. Zhao Feng, we need to be faster. This is a once-in-a-lifetime fortune, Jing Kai said impatiently. Nothing, I just suddenly realized that the black wind has become stronger. Zhao Feng's expression was grim. Indeed. Looks like we need to speed up. Old Ying's expression became grim as well after sensing it carefully. If the black wind returned to its original state, then they would need to quickly retreat. Even sacred lords wouldn't dare to go too deep into the black wind at its full strength. Your cultivation is too low. Jing Kai looked at Zhao Feng with dissatisfaction. From his point of view, Zhao Feng couldn't block the black wind because of his low cultivation. The three sped up and quickly headed toward the center of the Black Wind Canyon Forbidden Ground. The further they went, the stronger the black wind became. Even Jing Kai felt an icy coldness. The purple-robed elder and company soon appeared in their vision. Old Ying, our two groups are still together, right? The purple-robed elder revealed a faint smile as he turned around. He hoped that Old Ying would come. Even if they didn't get this treasure, they could just take back what they already had. Of course. Old Ying sped up even more. Under the guidance of the purple-robed elder, everyone came to the center of the Black Wind Canyon and headed toward the treasure glow. This place was filled with giant room-sized stones made from a dark gray material. The treasure glow was coming from the center of the giant rocks, and the strong surge of pressure radiating from it made everyone unable to approach. The treasure glow suddenly weakened, and the nine-colored light became dimmer until it completely faded back into the ground. The entire Black Wind Canyon Forbidden Ground became a world of darkness once more. The pressure from the treasure glow has disappeared. Lei Tong exclaimed, and all six of them shot into the air above the rocks. In just an instant, everyone arrived within range of where the treasure glow used to be, but they were unable to sense anything clearly because there were a bunch of stones everywhere, and the black wind was affecting their divine senses. Purple light destroying the sky. The purple-robed elder thrust out a palm, and the figure of a giant palm made of purple light thudded onto the stones below. Bam! No one knew what these dark gray stones were made from. The purple-robed elder's attack only left a few cracks on them. It seems like it's impossible to enter directly from here. The purple-robed elder was unwilling. The giant stones blocked everything, so it was impossible to enter through here. We have to find another entrance. Jing Kai sighed. I saw an entrance just now, Zhao Feng's voice suddenly sounded. Everyone suddenly looked over like they were struck by lightning. Where? The purple-robed elder immediately questioned. We passed through a small cave entrance not far away from here. It seemed like it connected underground, Zhao Feng replied honestly, and the purple-robed elder and his group already started to fly over right after Zhao Feng finished speaking. The group soon arrived at the spot mentioned by Zhao Feng. There really is an entrance here. Lei Tong exclaimed with joy. In front of them was a cave entrance that could only fit one person at a time. The entrance was at the boundary of the giant stones, and they could faintly see a stone staircase leading down below. Chapter 949, Green Bronze Pillar. Within the Great Gan Imperial Palace, discussion broke out amongst the halls and the sky. Everyone's gaze was locked onto the second prince's and ninth prince's screens. What kind of treasure is hidden within the Black Wind Canyon Forbidden Ground? The light we see is probably just a small part. Unfortunately, all the groups are spread out amongst the imperial tombs. A lot have entered the center already. If they worked together, it wouldn't be impossible for them to get the treasure. At this instant, everyone paid more attention to the treasure compared to the Crown Prince trial. As long as someone was able to get this treasure, So what if the fight to become crown prince ended in utter failure? The 8 big families and other forces within the Great Hall, including the elder from Sky Suspension Palace, looked at the screens in the sky with shock. Many people had regretful expressions. Why weren't there clan members in the Black Wind Canyon right now? Why is such a strong treasure glow coming from the Black Wind Canyon Forbidden Ground? Jinner is too far away from the Black Wind Canyon. The 13th prince's uncle was stunned and hit his head with frustration. Those that were most excited were the halls of the 9th, 5th, and 2nd princes. According to the screens, only these 3 forces had anyone in the Black Wind Canyon. Zhao Feng is indeed someone with great fortune. Duke Nanfeng sighed in his heart. Several other figures behind the Great Hall were talking to one another. Something's wrong. Why is there such a strong treasure glow coming from the Black Wind Canyon Forbidden Ground? A flabby-faced fatty with big ears said. There's too little information about the Black Wind Canyon Forbidden Ground. They have dragon jades in their hands, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem, a wrinkled elder replied. None of the princes were in the canyon. If someone is able to take out this treasure, it will be a great fortune for the entire Great Gon Lord dynasty, a figure in the back said. The group of 6 entered the stone staircase in the center of the Forbidden Ground and was slowly going further in. This pathway very likely leads to where the treasure is. The purple-robed elder's eyes twinkled. The black wind within the pathway was more condensed than outside, and the pathway was almost completely pitch black. Furthermore, the unique material of the walls dramatically reduced everyone's senses. Wu tilde. A ghastly cry suddenly sounded in the darkness, and a giant black figure swept toward the group like a tornado. Not good, it's an emperor-level Black Wind Yin ghost. Everyone had a grim expression. As they thought, danger existed alongside fortune. They had all been wandering around outside for such a long time and only encountered king-level Black Wind Yin ghosts, but they met an emperor-level Black Wind Yin ghost right after entering this pathway. From this, they could see that their path was correct. Go. The purple-robed elder attacked with a surge of soul power. He thrust out his palm, and purple light that could damage both the physical and soul dimensions shot toward the Black Wind Yin ghost. Lei Tong also took out a dark pearl of lightning and put his soul power into it. A bolt of lightning formed from his soul and instantly shot out, exploding on the head of the Black Wind Yin ghost. Lightning attacks countered evil demons and spirits, so the effect was very obvious. Old Ying stood behind them and released beams of dark light that hit the critical points on the Black Wind Yin ghost. The Emperor-level Black Wind Yin ghost technically had its own consciousness, but it wasn't very smart, so it was soon killed by the combined force of 3 quasi-sacred lords. Continue. After confirming that they had arrived at the right place, everyone became excited and sped up while also increasing their caution. The further they went, the bigger the pathway became, and everyone was able to walk in a row now. At the same time, the black wind almost completely blocked their sight, and the 2 emperors were starting to have trouble blocking it. These walls are even tougher than the giant rocks. The purple-robed elder sighed as he touched the walls. His attacks had only created several cracks on the rocks, but these walls were even tougher. They were even stronger than peak earth grade items. Eh? A fork? Everyone stopped walking. Old Ying and the purple-robed elder didn't know what to do. There were 2 paths in front of them, and everyone's senses were currently weakened by the black wind. They couldn't notice any difference between the 2 paths. It's best not to split up, Old Ying said warily. The 2 groups weren't very strong to begin with, and they were now in the unknown underground depths of the Black Wind Canyon Forbidden Ground. If they split up, their chance of surviving would drop to almost 0. Then let's choose. The purple-robed elder agreed with what Old Ying said. Hoo-hoo. Just as the purple-robed elder and Old Ying were hesitating, 2 Black Wind Yin ghosts appeared from one of the pathways. They weren't emperors, but they were stronger than the king ghosts outside. Ha ha ha. This should be the path where fortune and danger coexist. The purple-robed elder laughed and then spread his palms, summoning a wave of purple light. Lei Tong and Old Ying also took action. They didn't agree nor disagree with this method of distinguishing which way to go. Let's have a look. Zhao Feng took half a step back and opened his left eye. Wang tilde. A faint golden ripple spread from Zhao Feng's golden eye as he gazed downward. Zhao Feng's left eye instantly saw through the wall that was made from countless complex atoms, but there was nothing too special about it. There was definitely a secret hall, but it was hidden very deeply. His left eye wasn't capable of seeing through the entire path from here. The golden ripple of light disappeared from Zhao Feng's left eye after a long time. Who tilde? A black Windian ghost suddenly appeared behind Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng, watch out! Old Ying instantly exclaimed after killing the black Windian ghosts in front. Who? This black Windian ghost turned into a black tornado and landed right on Zhao Feng's back. Zhao Feng acted as if he hadn't sensed anything, but the symbol of God tribulation lightning within his soul blinked. Boom! Lightning flashed around the black wind that landed on Zhao Feng's back, and the ghost was instantly blown into bits. See? Lei Tong had just turned around, and his heart shook when he saw this. He remembered the image of Zhao Feng exchanging blows with him. He was sure that Zhao Feng wasn't as simple as he seemed, but he was too embarrassed to say that. Was he supposed to tell the purple-robed elder that he tried to ambush a king in the wooden tower, but was knocked on his ass instead? Brat, didn't you say that you don't know any soul-type secret techniques? The purple-robed elder instantly flew over and questioned. The surge of soul power within that blast of lightning gave off a terrifying destructive aura that he could sense even from far away. Do none of you have defensive treasures that protect the soul? Zhao Feng mocked as his expression remained the same. The expression of the purple-robed elder kept on changing, but he didn't say anything in the end, and they continued forward. He obviously had treasures that protected his soul, but they were nowhere near as strong as the one Zhao Feng had. The group went into one of the paths and continued forward. Boom! Who tilde? The roar of black Windian ghosts and the sound of battle came from ahead. What? There's someone ahead of us? The purple-robed elder's heart skipped a beat, and his expression became solemn. From the looks of it, there was more than one entrance to the underground. Everyone turned the corner and felt a strong gust of black wind approach them. Boom! The purple-robed elder waved his palms, and dark purple light split it apart. In a hall ahead of them were 3 quasi-sacred lords and several dozen black Windian ghosts. They fought while an emperor that didn't specialize in soul attacks hid behind them. All of these black Windian ghosts were emperors. The second prince's group. When they were fighting over the wealth in the ice castle, they saw this group. The purple-robed elder's expression faltered. He didn't expect that the second prince's group would be ahead of them. However, at this instant, the 3 quasi-sacred lords were at a disadvantage, and they were forced outside the hall by the several dozen black Windian ghosts. At the same time, even more king-level black Windian ghosts appeared from the hall. Fellow Daists, our goal is the same. Help us. There is definitely a treasure within the hall. The leader was an elder with a goatee. A layer of soul flames covered his body as he looked at the 6 behind him for assistance. The hall? The purple-robed elder's eyes flashed. He was thinking about going back to the fork and trying the other pathway. After all, while there were only 4 people in the second prince's group here, their overall strength surpassed theirs. Let's go, Old Ying. There is definitely a secret in the hall ahead of us. The purple-robed elder looked at Old Ying. If Old Ying wasn't willing to help, then his own group would be suppressed by the second prince's group if they were to scout together. Okay. Old Ying looked ahead at the entrance blocked by countless black Windian ghosts and agreed. Zhao Feng, summon your black-striped venomous scorpions as well. The purple-robed elder looked at Zhao Feng, who was hiding in the back. With the help of Old Ying, the purple-robed elder, and company, they all started to force the black Windian ghosts back into the hall. Thank you. The goateed elder expressed his thanks while they were fighting and inspected Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng was only a king, but he was still able to maintain his consciousness even in such powerful black wind. His strength was incredible. The black Windian ghosts that were fighting suddenly screamed and started to tremble. Then, they turned into countless black gusts of wind and retreated. Eh? They all retreated? The goateed elder felt that something was wrong. There is most likely an intelligent black Windian ghost here, so they retreated after seeing that they weren't our match. A member from second prince's group laughed and spoke. The appearance of the hall was revealed after all the black Windian ghosts retreated. It was an empty hall that gave off an old and wicked aura. Countless complex array symbols covered the walls around the hall, and they occasionally blinked. At the very center of the hall was a large green bronze pillar. Countless snarling and fierce monsters and legendary species were carved on it. The imagery was so powerful that it created illusions when one looked at it. Jinkai. Old Ying hit Jinkai's back and released a surge of soul intent into him. What a terrifying green bronze pillar. Jinkai puffed as he was covered in cold sweat. If Old Ying hadn't woken him up, He might have already died in the illusionary world. Zhao Feng inspected the fierce beasts on the green bronze pillar. They were similar to the ancient desolate race in his memory, but they contained more details and seemed to be alive. There was a metallic black door built into the green bronze pillar. It was formed from countless small pieces of metal, and it belonged to the way of mechanisms. Countless sparkling gold and white array lines surrounded the green bronze pillar and the metallic black door. This seemed to be the core of the array in the hall. This mystic gold and white array also created a formation. Without the array's help, even quasi-sacred lords would fall into an illusionary world if they looked at the ancient desolate beasts on the pillar. Chapter 950, Revealing His Strength. The three groups consisted of 10 people in total, and everyone stood silently before the green bronze pillar. Do any of you specialize in arrays or Heaven's Legacy secret techniques? The goateed elder asked with an awkward smile. Everyone lowered their heads and didn't speak. It was obvious that no one did. Some inheritances in the imperial tombs required array or mechanisms masters to solve, but at the end of the day, the number was very small. Furthermore, even if someone here was familiar with arrays, this particular array was nothing like the arrays in any other inheritance. There were only a few people in the imperial tombs right now that could solve this array. Can we work together to destroy it? A quasi-sacred lord from the goateed elders group murmured. Everyone was silent. How were they supposed to know what would happen if they didn't know anything about arrays? Let's give it a try. Attack from a distance. The purple-robed elder thought for a moment. Many arrays could counterattack if they were attacked. Okay. Old Ying also agreed. Everyone was unwilling to give up now after risking their lives and reaching the depths of the forbidden ground. It was obvious that everyone agreed, so they all retreated outside the hall. 9 yin palm. The goateed elder circulated his true yuan, and his palm radiated a power aura of cold yin as he thrust it out. Hu tilde. The figure of an icy palm swept over toward the green bronze pillar. The goateed elder unleashed this attack slowly, then retreated several steps back after doing so. The figure of the icy palm instantly landed on the gold and white array. Boom. The next second, the imprint of the hand suddenly appeared on the wall next to everyone. How? How is this possible? The goateed elder was stunned, and his heart jumped. If it wasn't for his extreme caution, he would have been hit by his own attack after it was reinforced and reflected by the array. The instant his attack touched the array, it immediately bounced back. No one even saw how it moved. Even Zhao Feng's breathing stopped. Through his left eye, he could slowly replay what happened. However, even when he slowed it down to 0.2 times speed, he could only barely see it. The goateed elder was experienced and knowledgeable, so he took a few extra steps back after actually unleashing his attack, which is why the palm hit the wall instead of himself. It seemed like the experience of an elder was extremely useful. Despite his power, Zhao Feng didn't have such a thing yet. Everyone else's eyes bulged out in disbelief. As I expected, such a treasure is destined not to belong to us. Old Ying sighed. From what just happened, they could all tell that the profundity of this array had already exceeded the level of a mystic light realm. Look! The wall! Jing Kai suddenly exclaimed. Everyone's eyes moved away from the array and toward the handprint on the wall. There was a thin crack within the imprint. This is? Zhao Feng's expression changed dramatically when he saw what was inside with his left eye. The aura of substandard god crystals. The purple-robed elder's nose sniffed, and he spoke with certainty. Everyone, attack this wall. The goateed elder revealed a joyful expression. If they were unable to obtain the treasure sealed by the array, it wouldn't be so bad to find some other stuff. Boom. Boom. Ice, lightning, fire, and wind barraged the wall. Bam. Under the combined efforts of everyone's attacks, the wall shattered. Hu tilde. A surge of fiery hot wind lightning suddenly appeared from behind. A pair of scarlet wings of lightning suddenly formed behind Zhao Feng's back, and he forced back the 3 emperors nearby with his powerful aura of fiery lightning. Whoosh! Zhao Feng turned into a bolt of lightning and entered the hole in the wall first. Zhao Feng? How is this possible? The purple-robed elder was enraged and shocked. The strength that Zhao Feng displayed right now almost surpassed every peak emperor in the imperial tombs. He didn't expect that Zhao Feng was hiding himself so deeply. Now that Zhao Feng had revealed his strength and was the first to charge in, he had obviously discovered some sort of treasure. Hoo-hoo. 6 quasi-sacred lords charged after Zhao Feng into the other side of the wall. This Zhao Feng is indeed strong. The young emperor from the purple-robed emperor's group was shocked. In the last inheritance when Zhao Feng and Lei Tong fought, he realized that the one at a disadvantage was actually Lei Tong. Lei Tong was a quasi-sacred lord, and his battle power was comparable to normal sacred lords. The three emperors didn't show any signs of weakness, and they charged in as well. This is? The 6 quasi-sacred lords were dazed. The dimension was filled with light, and their bodies shook as a surge of ancient aura washed over them. Various objects, stones, and substandard god crystals filled the entire place and gave off a bright light that lit up the entire dimension. Countless stones, broken objects, beast skins, pill bottles, and other items formed huge piles, and each object gave off an ancient aura. These items were all spread across the ground as if they were just trash. This is God-fallen metal, sky crystal fire mine, purple and gold saint jade. Even those from the older generations were only able to recognize a couple dozen of these items, and they started to tremble with excitement. Any random stone or scrap here would cause a war between 4-star powers in the outside world. God-fallen metal, which was just scattered about in this place, was a carefully hidden resource kept by the Great Gun Imperials in their secret treasury. Most of the items here weren't even recognizable, such as some brown beast skin and some unknown pills. Take them all. The 6 quasi-sacred lords instantly abandoned their elegant manners and charged in, taking everything they found. There were so many treasures here that the 3 emperors who followed behind them felt extremely satisfied just picking up some scraps. Everything here was soon wiped clean. Not even a tiny shard was left behind. Zhao Feng, hand over half of what you obtained. The purple-robed elder instantly appeared before Zhao Feng and released his powerful aura. Lei Tong and another emperor also arrived. Zhao Feng's expression didn't change under the purple-robed elder's pressure. He simply looked at the elder with a cold gaze. What is the meaning of this? We decided that whoever gets it first gets to keep it. Old Ying immediately stood forward. When we teamed up earlier, he concealed his strength and let us do all the hard work. I'm just telling him to hand over half. The purple-robed elder's eyes shone. He saw Zhao Feng take a god crystal a moment ago. A god crystal, not a substandard god crystal. That was something in the domain of gods, and it was formed from the power of the heavenly divine realm. Junior, a measly king can't keep all of those treasures safe. The goateed elder gave a faint smile. Zhao Feng was the first to go in. He obviously obtained the most valuable treasures in this place. Although Zhao Feng might be able to use the array to leave, he wouldn't be able to run away anymore afterward. Old Ying had a grim expression. He didn't think that the goateed elder would also participate in this. Old Ying wasn't scared of the purple-robed elders group, but the goateed elder had 3 quasi-sacred lords, and they were all stronger than the purple-robed elder. If there was nothing they could do, they could only resort to using the array in their dragon jades, while Zhao Feng would be able to escape with the misty spatial world. It would still be worth it for all the treasures. I don't have the habit of spitting out what I've eaten. Zhao Feng smiled in disdain. Hearing that, the expressions of the purple-robed elder and the goateed elder changed dramatically, and everyone else's eyes bulged. Arrogant junior. Even if you don't have the habit of spitting out what you've eaten, I'll teach you how. The purple-robed elder's face went green as he started to circulate his dark purple true yuan. Stop. Old Ying immediately called out. Who? The goateed elder immediately appeared before Old Ying and blocked him. Sacred lightning dominating body. Zhao Feng stepped forward and suddenly became taller as a layer of gold and blue light covered his body. The pressure of the peak 5th level sacred lightning body instantly crushed over. Boom. The purple-robed elder, who was still circulating his true yuan, was instantly interrupted. The blood within his body boiled and almost spewed out. The young emperor next to him fell to the ground trembling and wasn't able to stand up at all. Is this his true strength? Lei Tong struggled, and he obviously didn't feel very well either. The members of the goateed elders group also felt their hearts shake. The pressure that Zhao Feng's body displayed made them feel heavy even though they were rather far from him. Zhao Feng, if you don't hand over half of your treasures today, I will force you and everyone else in your group to use your dragon jades. The purple-robed elder was filled with anger and surprise. Even if Zhao Feng cultivated a profound body-strengthening technique, he was still just a king. The elder couldn't forgive Zhao Feng for going against his will. Zhao Feng, just hand over half of your stuff. Jinkai was filled with panic, and he found it difficult to even breathe when facing the purple-robed elders group and the second prince's group together. You're courting death. Zhao Feng's sacred lightning body suddenly released a wave of lightning as he punched out with his fire of wind lightning. The physical force that was suppressing everyone suddenly shot toward the purple-robed elder like a storm of fire and lightning. We can't solve the array in the hall, so there's nothing left to scout in the Black Wind Canyon. It's time to get rid of this old bastard. What? The purple-robed elder didn't expect Zhao Feng to be the first to attack, and the power within this fist actually made him feel a sense of life and death danger. Whoosh! A blue shield appeared in the purple-robed elder's hand. Boom! Zhao Feng's fist slammed onto the blue shield, and a storm of fire and lightning exploded. Crack! The blue shield instantly broke apart, and the purple-robed elder retreated several dozen steps as his hands went numb. How is this possible? How can a measly king have such terrifying power? The purple-robed elder was stunned. His blue shield was destroyed just like that? The spectators were completely dazed. Zhao Feng's physical strength alone was comparable to a quasi-sacred lord? Hand over all your treasures or use your array and fuck off. Zhao Feng's expression was cold as he slowly approached the purple-robed elder. Ha 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 ha, although I'm a bit late, I should be able to get a share of the treasures, right? A loud laughter suddenly sounded from the pathway alongside a surge of extreme coldness.